Okay, good morning. For today, our English lesson, we are going to look at countable and uncountable nouns, and it's on page 55 of Unit 5 Food and Health. So, shall we start? Alright, to start off the lesson today, because we are going to look at countable and uncountable nouns, we will watch a grammar animation video.
There is an apple. There's an apple. There isn't an apple. There is some cheese. There's some cheese. There's a lot of cheese. There isn't much cheese. There isn't any cheese. There are a lot of sweets. There are some sweets. There aren't many sweets. There aren't any sweets. Is there an apple? Is there any cheese? How much cheese is there? Are there any sweets? How many sweets are there?
Alright, so when you watch the video, I think you can understand what we are doing today. All right, so that's what we are doing today. We are going to look at countable and uncountable nouns, and we are going to use some, any, much, many, and a lot of. And you are able to, hopefully, by the end of the lesson, you are able to talk about food and meals. All right. Okay, so we are going to look at countable nouns which are related to food and uncountable nouns which are related to food as well. So, for example, the food that can be counted and the food types that you are unable to count. All right, so for the first activity, we are going to look at the words here that you can see. We are going to put them into countable and uncountable. All right, so apple, can we count them? Is it countable? Yes. Juice, is it countable? No, because it's a liquid. You can't separate them. You can't count them. So it's uncountable noun. Egg is countable because you can count them separately. Bread is uncountable. Pasta, uncountable. Sweet is countable. Water is uncountable. Snack is countable. So you can count them separately. So next we will look at the singular and the plural usage for countable and uncountable. So if you see here, the rules for countable nouns, we would use a for a singular countable noun and n for a plural countable noun. Alright, so if you see here the words that we used in the first activity, and for uncountable noun, we won't use a or n because it's already plural. So it's in the plural form, therefore we can't count it. So we won't use an a or n to indicate. All right. So an egg, that's not the egg, is a countable noun. So singular egg, we say an egg because eggs, e starts with a vowel. A sweet, s starts with a consonant, so we use a for singular. Plural, we say sweets. We put an S there. The rules are we put S there. A snack, S is a consonant, so we put a there. Next, we put S at the end of the sentence for the word for plural. For uncountable nouns, the words that you gave answer earlier is pasta, bread, and water. These are uncountable nouns. Alright, here we are going to look at for the next activity. We need to look at the words given here and we have to complete the sentences based on the pictures given. For uncountable, we use how much, and for countable, normally to ask, we use how many. Much is normally used for uncountable because it's a noun where you can't count them, so we use much. Those are the rules. Okay, the words that we can see in the picture for uncountable. So to show the uncountable, rice. Rice is uncountable. So there's some rice there in the picture. There isn't much cheese. Cheese is uncountable. There isn't any meat. Meat is also uncountable. So you can't see meat in that picture. The picture on your left hand side. So the picture on your right hand side is countable. So we use how many. There are a lot of vegetables on the picture. There are some pears. We use some. There aren't many grapes. So there aren't many grapes. There aren't any crisps. So from here you can see which is positive, negative, right? And the question. So how much, how many is the question? How you ask question. And then there's a lot of pasta is affirmative. There are a lot of vegetables is affirmative. There's some rice is affirmative. There are some pears is affirmative in the countable. And in uncountable, there isn't much cheese is negative. So that means there's none there. There isn't any meat. Much means there's some, but it's not that enough. There isn't any meat. That means there's no meat at all. So it's completely negative. There aren't many grapes. That means there are grapes, but we don't have enough. There aren't any crisps at all. So both are negative sentences. Right. So here we are going to do the next activity. You are going to look at the sentences from exercise to the earlier exercise and choose the correct words for the rules. So just now we looked at much and many. So we use much or many with uncountable nouns. So normally we use much. Okay, we use much because we can't count uncountable nouns. So therefore we use many with countable nouns. We often use any, much, and many in questions and negative sentences. So we use some, any, and a lot of with countable and uncountable nouns. So we use some, any, and a lot of for both countable and uncountable nouns. For this activity, you need to complete the questions with much and many, and then you have to choose the correct words in the answer here. So if you see here, you have to do the question and you have to complete the affirmative or negative sentences. So if you see here, meat do vegetarians eat? So meat is uncountable. So we use much or many. So if it's uncountable, we use much because meat is uncountable. So if you see here, vitamins, how much or many? Vitamins are countable. So it is, oh, okay, they don't eat any meat. So how much meat do vegetarians eat? They don't actually eat any. So because here we are giving a negative sentence, we are using a negative sentence here. So we use any, all right? So moving on, vitamins is countable. So we use how many vitamins are there in white rice. There aren't many or much because yes, many. There aren't many vitamins in white rice. Okay, here how, because fat is countable or uncountable. Fat is uncountable, so it is how much. Okay, how much fat is there in chocolate? This is an affirmative sentence. So there's a lot of fat in chocolate. We cannot use much, we cannot use many, because many you can count. You can't indicate much also, so we have to use a lot of. So how fruit? Is it many or much? How much fruit is there in fizzy drinks? Here, because we are using fizzy drinks. Drinks is liquid, so it's uncountable. Fizzy drinks, so we use much. So there isn't much, or this is negative sentence. So we use much because we are also talking about fizzy drinks here. How people are countable? So it's many. Can't eat nuts. So this is a negative question. There are some. Okay, some people who can't eat nuts. This is also, but this is an affirmative sentence. Okay, affirmative. There are some people who can't eat, but most people can. All right. Okay. So the next activity is the last activity, and we have one more task for you. Right. So here you are to write down your answers. That normally where we do our activity, where you have to give me your answers about usually what do you eat and drink every week. You have to complete the sentences. Then you have to compare your sentences with your friends in the class. Are they the same or different? So you just have to give, for example, I eat some vegetables every day. What about you? I don't eat many vegetables, but I eat an apple every day. So this is our class activity. So teacher didn't give any answers here. So we will be doing it. We are doing it during lesson. So we will get the answers when we are doing it during the lesson. So hopefully you understand and you can use the phrases in the question and give the answer. So finally, your task is to invite three friends for a celebration at your house. Obviously, now we can't do that, but you can prepare a shopping list for the food and drink that you want to buy. Let's imagine that you have a celebration at home, and what is the shopping list that you can prepare for the food and drink that you are going to get for the celebration? So that is your task. All right, that's the task that you can do for this activity. So that's the end of this part of the lesson. So today we have a spelling assessment. This time around, teacher prepared a live worksheet for you. So I will share the live worksheet in your Telegram group. Okay, during the lesson, and this is how the worksheet will look like. So you need to click and play the audio, and then you'll get your spelling. You listen and you write down the answer and you submit to me. So you submit. You don't have to submit, you just check the answer and you update the scores in the Telegram group. Take a screenshot of the whole the sheet, the live worksheet, and update. Okay, so when you update, I will know what is the score for your spelling. So we are having an interactive spelling this time, so you don't have to write in the book. Okay, you can just print it out and then you can paste it in the book. Right, this is the attendance link for today, which I'll be sharing in the class, and you will get the link. I will be sharing it in the Telegram group. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson. Thank you, everyone. I hope you understood the lesson. Any questions, you can ask teacher in the English Telegram group.